Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. Before we jump into this video, man, subscribe to the channel, like this video. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate y'all. The Saints played their last preseason game of the year, resting most of the starters. Most of the important players did not play in this preseason game, but some guys did go out there, and we'll just go through some of these stats real quick. You got Spencer Rattler, 7 for 13, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Basically split the entire game with Jake Haener, who went 8 for 17, 87 yards. Haener was sacked 1 time. You look at the ratings, 106.2 to 62.6. The rushing game, Jacob Cabody, 12 carries, 59 yards. Jordan Mims, 5 carries, 33 yards. James Robinson, 3 carries, 14 yards. Had a better day than that. Some of his, plays came back because of penalties. Then you got the receiving court, A.T. Perry, 2 catches, 67 yards. St. Brown, 3 catches, 40 yards. Touchdown, Stanley Morgan, so on and so forth. And let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Anthony Orji, once again. This guy has to make that 53-man roster. I'll do a video on my prediction of the 53-man roster. Probably dropping tomorrow morning before they start making cuts. 9 tackles, man. 4 solo. Guys really, really good on the defensive side of the ball. Look at Isaiah Foskey, man. Come on, man. Getting on the stat sheet, man. 5 tackles, 3 solo, a half a sack. Who'd have thought it? Hey, who would have thought it, man? So, good for him. Good for him. Very, very, very tough preseason for him. Just good for him. Just good for him. I still don't know if that's going to put him on my 53-man roster, but still, good for Isaiah Foskey for doing something in 3 games. That's good for him. Now, let's talk about this game. Now, obviously, everybody want to hear about the Spencer Rattler versus Jake Haener. This was basically a game for the backup quarterback position. Now, I got a couple things on this. Obviously, watching this game, I don't care who you were rooting for at this point up into this battle. I made a video before on the quarterback battle, but it's obvious. It's very, very clear who the better quarterback is. It's very clear. I said it was kind of clear in my old video, but now I'm 100% sure it's Spencer Rattler. It's not even close in my opinion now. And I think the longer this year goes on, the further and further the gap is going to get. Because Spencer Rattler is closer to Derek Carr than Jake Haener is to Spencer Rattler. I'll tell you that much. I think it's a big, big gap. Watching this game is evident. Offense just looks, more fluid when he's out there. He just looks like the guy. And a lot of playing quarterback is being the guy. Like, it's just looking like the guy, having that confidence of the guy. Like, if you look at Joe Burrow, he doesn't possess the elite arm talent of like a Mahomes or a Josh Allen, but he has that it factor as a quarterback. Tom Brady was the same way. He's the best version of that. I'm not comparing Rattler to Tom Brady or Joe Burrow. I'm just saying that the command he has, a quarterback that could just get the team to rally around him. They just get a pep in the step when he's out there. So I think Spencer Rattler is easy to quarterback to of the team. If Dennis Allen comes out and say Jake Haener win this job, then we know his competency as a coach. It's just not that high. Everybody with eyes saw this game, saw Spencer Rattler was the better quarterback today. It's just easy. Like, just give him the new number 2 job. It's just simple as that. Also, I think the running game did really, really well today. 24 carries, 124 yards, 5.2 yards to carry. Obviously, I know it's the last preseason game, so you're not going against the best players on either team. So, but still, we wasn't able to get things going against 2s and 3s in previous games. So this still is a really, really good look. I really, really like what I saw from James Robinson and Cabody. I think both of those guys played really, really well. Jordan Mims played well as well. So I think the running game, them guys all were fighting probably for that foot running back spot, and they all showed up. They all showed up and they all played well. So got to give credit to those guys. That was a really, really good job in the run game. Now the receiving, I'm really only going to talk about the offense, by the way. The defense is fine. I think our defense is set. Linebackers, D-line, secondary. We're really, really good on defense. These receivers, absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. They let these quarterbacks down. Honestly, A.T. Perry had a drop. St. Brown could have had another touchdown. Morgan had a drop, I believe. Bub Memes. They all was dropping the ball. They all weren't getting open. It was just a very, very bad day by this receiving core. And if you look at our receiving core, you got Olave. You got Rashid Shaheed, who we haven't seen, dealing with an injury, and you ain't got shit else after that. A.T. Perry hasn't shown me enough. I still think he's our number 3 guy, but he hasn't shown me enough. I mean, that's probably Cedric Wilson, to be honest, number 3 guy. But after that, we haven't seen anything from these receivers. The depth at receiver is concerning. It's lacking. It's absolutely dog shit. We have to go get a receiver in free agency. Also think we got to get an offensive tackle or a guard in free agency as well, just a lineman in general. But the receiving core is very, very concerning for this team. If somehow Olave goes down for 2 games, Rashid Shaheed goes down for 2 games or 1 game or anything like that, or if knock on wood, somebody gets a major injury, we're screwed. We're fucked. It's not another receiver on this roster that I have confidence in playing 60 snaps a game and being the efficient NFL receiver. None of them are ready for that. None of them are capable of that. And it's just a very, very, very bad look, in my opinion. The receiving core is terrible. Absolutely terrible. We didn't address it this offseason. We brought in St. Brown and Cedric Wilson. Two guys that are, come on. No offense to those guys, but we're talking about trying to upgrade your receiving room. We didn't try to do that this offseason. We did not try that. And I could put a lot on that at A.T. Perry. He was supposed to take a little leap this year, and he didn't, in my opinion. Well, as of yet. Obviously, it's only been 3 preseason games, a couple months of practice. He still has time. But at the moment, this receiving core is just not good. It's just not good. Now, Trevor Penny, once again, interesting game for Trevor Penny. Watched it once, have to go back and watch again. But in the run game, I thought he looked really, really well. In the pass game, he is still awful. I think he regressed, in my opinion, in the pass game. Like I said, I got to watch it again to confirm that. But on pass situations, man, he's still trying to grab around the outside of people's pads, not shooting his hands inside. Defender keeps getting inside on him. He's holding, grabbing people around the neck. They could have called 4 or 5 holding calls on him, to be honest, but they didn't. He was getting beat barely in those pass situations. Sometimes just stepping out too far, getting beat inside, not stepping far enough, getting beat outside, getting beat with the speed rush. It just was not a good look in some of those situations from Trevor Penny. It's not a good look. So that offensive line issues, it's going to be concerning. Left guard, we still don't know who's playing. Right tackle, we know who's playing, but can he do it for 16, 17 games? Doesn't look like it at the moment. Doesn't look like it. So offensive line is definitely concerning. Receiving core is definitely concerning. I think the third string running backs, third, fourth string running backs, they answered the call today. I think the backup quarterback answered the call today. Maybe the 1 or 2 spots on defense, they answered the call today. Let's talk about special teams just a little bit before we get there. Obviously, Groupie's going to be the kicker. I think that's just evident. They're not even kicking the kicker. Groupie's going to be the kicker. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just don't think it was a fair competition or a real competition. And Groupie's a good kicker. Obviously, look at his stats. 2 for 2, made a 54-yard field goal, made all his extra points. Perfect day. You can't ask for anything other from a kicker other than that. Perfect day. Now, punting, Lou Headley should not make this team. Lou Headley should not make this team. If he makes this team over Matthew Hayball, once again, Dennis Allen, he just can't. He can't do that. And that's 2 years in a row you would have picked the wrong punter. And I don't know why. But they can't do that again. You just can't do that again. Obviously, I'm not really worried about the return game. We got one of the best returners in the NFL when he's healthy, Rashid Shaheed. So the highlight of this game, like I said, man, Spencer Rattler versus Jake Haener, that was really, really good. Rattler it was one play that really, really made me mad. Offensive line missed a blitz. I think the left guard was supposed to pick up a blitz, kind of double team with the center. Rattler stands in the pocket, gets smashed, hits A.T. Perry's in the hands, kind of low, but when your quarterback's getting smacked in the mouth, you got to catch that ball. You have to catch that ball. He's standing in the pocket. He's about to get smacked by a guy running 4'5", 250 pounds. You have to come down with that catch if he's going to do that. You have to. Also on the play to A.T. Perry, which should have been a touchdown if Rattler could get some on it, but he has a guy in his face, still stands in the pocket, delivers the strike to A.T. Perry for what, 44, 45 yards or something like that. Really, really good throw bomb once again. I don't think Haener played terrible. He didn't get any help, obviously, from the receiving core and the offensive line, but Spencer Rattler played with those same people, and it just looked different. It just looked different in my opinion. So I think that was a really, really good job by Rattler, MVP of this game. And it's just funny. If the Saints wanted to win this game, man, they should have put Rattler in the game, in my opinion. But that was going to cause a lot of division. If Rattler goes down there against the fourth strings, it doesn't matter. He goes down there, leads a touchdown drive with 20 seconds left, no timeouts. Saints fans are going to be Saints fans because it just is what it is. That hype is just building and building and building. It took a hit last week. Some people jumped off the train, but this week I think a lot of people came back to the train. A lot of people are going to be wanting Spencer Rattler. Derek Carr has one bad game before them Rattler chants start to break out in the Superdome. Guaranteed. One bad game, and they're off of you. I guarantee you it's going to be a lot of pressure. That Rattler hype it's not Tebow-esque, but it's like great value Tebow right now. No matter where Tebow went, people was chanting for Tebow, and Tebow's nowhere near the quarterback as Rattler. But just that hype around him of like they want to see him on the field. That's what Spencer Rattler's going to be. Same thing, Jameis Winston had that kind of effect as well. But you really only get that effect when your quarterback stinks. So let that sink in. That doesn't mean you got to shy away from the Jameis Winston or the Spencer Rattler types of your backup quarterbacks. No, your quarterback should just be good. When Drew Brees was here, guess what? We didn't give two shits about the backup quarterback. That was never a thing. Drew Brees could go 10 for 36, 102 yards, 4 picks, and there was never going to be some backup quarterback chance. He earned that right. So if your quarterback's just average or below average, then yes, the backup quarterback is going to give him issues, and we'll see how that plays out this year. But he's on a short leash in the fans. I think he's a long leash with Dennis Allen and the Saints. But with the fans, Derek Carr's going to be on a short leash. I think that Rattler hype is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, only continue to grow. He still has to, and he obviously wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. He still has to get better. But I really, really like what I saw from Spencer Rattler today and in the run game. But the receivers, very bad. We need to sign a receiver. We need to snatch that number 13 off Sam Brown and give it back to number 13, the real number 13. I'll leave it at that, man. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, this is Duel Tragedies.